Hey guys, it's Dan here. In today's video we will talk about fintechs. You probably heard it, you saw it in the news, you read it in the newspaper or something like that. But what exactly is a fintech company? Well, let's find out. First of all, let's start with the definition. So, as you probably know, fintech stands for finance and for technology. That's kind of a no-brainer, but what is behind it is a bit more complicated. So, what do we mean by finance in general? Well, finance can be a lot of things. It can be payments, and it can be everything related to trading and investing. It can be lending and borrowing. It can be insurance, and it can be virtual currencies, such as Bitcoin, for example. On the other side, we have technology that is enabling all the new financial products. For example, basically, I would cluster them into three categories. First of all, we have blockchain, then we have the cloud, and then we have machine learning, AI algorithms. So let me explain quickly. Blockchain is a little bit complicated to understand, but I will give you an example and you will get it pretty quickly. Basically, think about currencies. Who makes currencies in the US, for example? Well, it's the Federal Reserve, it's the central bank. So it's a very centralized, regulated process. When you look at blockchain, which is the technology behind virtual currencies, for example, it means that we're decentralizing this process, meaning that a lot of computers, for example, can start mining their own bitcoins and then sell them. And basically the technology is like, well, it's a blockchain, so it's adding each time another layer. So this is basically how blockchain works. I'm explaining it to you as a non-technology guy. So the second technology is cloud computing. That's a bit more famous. We all know how the cloud works. Basically, think about your pictures, for example, on your iPhone or on your Android device. Instead of storing your picture on your hardware, so on your phone, you're storing it on the Google or on the Apple server. So this is basically, you are also decentralizing to another server. And then you have machine learning and AI algorithms, which are also super important in the fintech world, because think about, a good example would be Netflix or Facebook, that will tell you in advance what you will like or not. And the same works also with financial products you maybe not know, but that will be pushed to you because they get your behavior. So now that we know what is behind finance and what is behind technology, let's try to find out what is the goal of fintech. Well, actually, it can be summed up pretty simply. Technology innovates finance. That's the idea behind. I would like to give you, imagine the following picture. It's not because you give the newest iPhone to your grandma that she's gonna turn into a hipster. Sounds a bit funny, but you get the picture here. What I mean basically is, it's not because an old school bank introduces an online banking in an app that it turns the company into a fintech. There is much more behind it, because all this technology needs to enable finance and not the other way around. You know, old school finance, for example, the Bank of America app or something like that, they already built all that stuff and they are trying to modernize it. Fintech is the other way around, and that's why usually startups do it, because the technology has to be advanced. You need all these three things, and once you have all these things, well, you can try to find a way how you can use this stuff to make this stuff better. This is basically what is behind finance, and now let's look at some examples and you will understand what I mean. Fintech got really big in the last couple of years due to technology and financial changes in the last couple of years. Before we talk about the superstars in the game, if you want, I wanted to tell you what or how fintech looks in practice. And basically there are three ways how fintech are getting big. The first one is fintech becomes a threat or challenge to an existing business model. In this case here, for example, it would be a bank. How do you threat or challenge an existing bank? Well, it's the idea is to improve the service here. We all know that banks are a bit slow and laggard regarding to technology and stuff like that. So the idea here is to improve service by making it better, faster and cheaper. To give you an example from a company I really like and use, they're not sponsoring this video, don't worry, but I just wanted to mention that, for example, TransferWise. What is TransferWise? It's a company from the UK. And for example, I live in the US, and sometimes I like to send money, so US dollars, to Europe, to the Eurozone. And when you use a normal bank, it costs you a fortune, and it's very opaque, it's not transparent, and it takes like 3 to 5 business days. What they found, actually, TransferWise, they specialized in this market through technology. And when you look at the TransferWise website, you will see that it's super quick and easy to send, for example, US dollars to Europe. It's gonna be much cheaper and much faster, and of course secure as well. So this is a great option, for example, and a great example. The second one is create a new financial product. And here technology was, of course, behind that. To give you 2 examples, first of all the robo-advisors or robo-investors. Look at the company Betterment, for example, in the US, but there are tons of others. What are they doing? Well, they're using machine learning and artificial intelligence to kind of scan you and tell you what you need depending on, well, on your age, on a lot of different factors, and give you like robo advice. So it's not a person, it's not like a consultant or something who gives you advice, but it's like a machine. So that's definitely driven by technology. And there is also peer-to-peer lending, which got pretty big, where actually you are cutting out the bank. So one person is lending directly to another, and this is how it works basically. That's why it's called peer-to-peer lending, and you have no bank in between. So this is also like a technologically advanced solution. I wouldn't use this one because it's super expensive usually, because of course there is less controls involved, like a bank which is checking your credit score, so the rates are higher. And then the next section is serve underserved clients. And here we have a great example from Kenya with M-Pesa, for example. Kenya is one of many countries. I think we have about 2 billion people in the world who do not have a bank account. And they started very early, I mean, since the 3G and the 4G internet came up. And they are basically, Kenya is now the leader in mobile money, basically. So they introduced mobile money. They introduced everything we know in our current banking apps, such as sending money, lending money, and these kind of things. So this is a pretty nice example of serve the underserved clients. So now you know roughly how it works in practice. Now let's look at the big superstars of the industry, and they usually come from China. So the biggest superstar in the fintech industry is called Ant Financial. It's a Chinese company with a market capitalization of roughly 300 billion. This could change quickly. I will explain to you why in a second. But as you can see, it's a huge company in China. It's the former Alipay. So you all know Alibaba, which is the Chinese Amazon, and Alibaba has a payment system the same way as Amazon has Amazon Pay. So this is basically the former Alibaba Pay, and they spinned off of Alibaba and became Ant Financials. And the reason why it matters is, of course, Ant Financial has a lot of former Amazon customers, if you want. So they understand your shopping behavior, they understand your savings behavior, and of course they can make you tailor-made solutions for financial products. They know exactly how much you want to retire, or they know what are your requirements for loans, for example, or for insurance and these kind of things. So you will see why it's a bit controversial here in a second. The idea, so the new technology the new idea they came up with is they know very well the customer. They know everything about this guy. So they are here in the middle and financials, and they collect the data and they will complete the deal. Let's imagine the customer wants a loan, for example. So let's say they want $10,000 consumer credit or something like that. So Ant Financial will collect the data and complete the deal. So they will check the customer and say, oh yeah, that's a good deal, we will lend him money. But then the catch, and what is brilliant from Ant Financial and why they are so big actually, is they are not lending the money. They will give this information to a bank, so the bank will provide the money and have all the credit risk, and Ant Financial in the middle is kind of the middleman, and they will collect a tech fee which is like 2% or something. But imagine giving the volume of the industry and all the bank, all the money that the banks are lending to customers, well, they are always collecting here as a middleman. So why is it so controversial, and why is it changing the market capitalization? Well, this company Ant Financials, they wanted to do an IPO in China, so they wanted to go public for roughly 300 billion market cap. And in 2 hours before the deal, the Chinese authorities blocked the entire thing because apparently Jack Ma, the founder, said something a bit provocative. But the idea behind it and the risk is actually the Chinese authorities are right now thinking, okay, but hold on, you are just collecting the fee here and you are not lending the money. So what they want, Ant Financials, is to be part of the entire loan process, because right now they're just collecting the fee because they are the middlemen, but they want them to have kind of more capital to because that could be a problem with financial stability. So that's why this market cap could be cut in half, but this also explains why Ant Financial is so big. My second example is what they call super apps actually. So it's a new kind of fintech, but which not started as a fintech but became a fintech. Let me explain. You have two companies, WeChat, which is a Chinese one, Grab, which is from Singapore, and you will see how they transformed into fintech. Very interesting as well. So WeChat is the Chinese WhatsApp, which belongs to Tencent. Tencent is next to Alibaba, the second biggest company in China. And WeChat, of course, became also WePay, meaning they have all the data. That's kind of a WhatsApp, Facebook of China, and of course they collect a lot of data, so they can also tailor-made very specific financial products in their super app. And what is interesting here in this example is they are really bundling, so actually not only they have kind of a social media data analysis, but they are also through the app selling you a lot of things, and I think you can even pay invoices and fees through that kind of app. The second one, which is also interesting, is called Grab, which is the Uber of Southeast Asia, based in Singapore. And what is interesting is Grab started as an Uber, but then they found out, well, there are a lot of underserved clients who do not have a bank account. Well, let's do something, because right now we already have them as a customer. So they transformed into banking and even teledoctor company, because Grab found out, well, hold on, a lot of our customers don't have bank accounts, so we are partnering up with, well, we are making it more like a finance or fintech company, so we can also deliver on the fintech side. And they even went further, because especially during the pandemic, they found out a lot of people in Southeast Asia don't have a doctor, so they also included like a teledoctor service into their super app. So here are two other Fintech Superstars, if you want. So now that you know what a fintech is, I wanted to tell you that I post once a week every Sunday. So if you like that kind of content, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like my video. And I post once a week every Sunday. So if you like financial content, corporate finance, market finance, you know where to find me. Enjoy your week. See you soon. Bye bye, guys.